talk to us a little bit about what Radicle does. You mentioned a software piece. Clearly, you guys are growing. Like, what is it that Radicle does? What's your space in the market?
So we describe ourselves as an emission reductions company. And what we're doing today is we're helping organizations in a number of different, with a number of different service offerings. So one is helping organizations just measure and report their own carbon footprint, their own emissions. Then we can help them develop corporate strategies, so a corporate carbon strategy, if you will, to think about what they want to do to reduce emissions or become greener and cleaner as time goes on. We are also in the business of developing carbon credits that we will sell into existing carbon markets. So for many of our clients, many of them are able to take advantage of markets. So when they create emission reductions, they can convert them into credits and create a revenue stream. Mm-hmm. For those that need credits, we act as a facilitator of transactions. So we will go out and acquire credits for them as well. And now we're moving into portfolio management of credits, because these are really a high value commodity, not just in Canada but around the world, and there's an opportunity to be investing in these assets for all sorts of different reasons from a commercial sense.
Okay.
And we have this software system that underpins virtually all of those activities that we're doing.
Walk us through, if somebody was listening to this for the first time, what's that process look like to get to, like, does the software do that, or there must be some boots on the ground aspect as you engage with a client in that case?
Yeah, no, there's certainly boots on the ground aspect and data gathering. I think what we are really, the real objective in doing this assessment is to do it in such a manner so that we're doing it consistently, and so that it's transparent, and that we're collecting data and evidence that demonstrates that the emissions being reported are factual, right? Mm-hmm. I think this is really critical, is this issue of transparency and quality. So it's one thing for someone to say, well, this was my natural gas bill, or this was my natural gas amount, but let's see the proof, right? So it's really going through an organization and looking at their energy consumption, what they're doing, and then converting that energy use into a carbon dioxide equivalent number, and then being able to give them the system so that they can start to track that on a regular basis, and then they can start to look at, well, what technologies might they use, or what behaviors might they change that will lower those emissions over time.
Go ahead.
I'll give you a case in point in the oil and gas sector, because that's a sector that's in Canada that's important, and we look specifically at methane emissions. And under the federal regulations and provincial regulations, there's reduction targets for methane emissions. And one of the challenges is getting accurate data from upstream oil and gas facilities to quantify what the vented emissions are. So emissions being vented, if you will, as a normal course of business, and what emissions are fugitive, which are being vented or leaked accidentally into the air. So in that case, for our oil and gas clients, we have a specific software package that they can take out to the field to conduct a detailed inventory with upstream oil and gas facility, and we will know what their vented emissions are, and then we can provide them with a plan to go in and replace some of that equipment so they reduce their emissions, and it's all verifiable.